So once again, welcome to the physics class, everyone. Those who are following my classes regularly, if you just keep on practicing a little bit, 100% you can attempt uh, all the questions. If you attempt all the questions, obviously you will get a good mark and you will be uh, a achiever of your target. Okay, so without wasting of the time, I want to enter into the topic. And in the previous classes, we have gone through the YDSC, that is Young's double slit experiment, what is its purpose and why we are conducting that. Then after we discussed where it will undergo constructive interference, where it will undergo destructive interference. Based on that, bright fringe, dark fringe, and fringe width. These all are the topics we have discussed in the yesterday's class. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the three topics. First one is some more facts of fringes. Some more facts of fringes. First point. And coming to the second point, fringe visibility. Fringe visibility or band visibility. Okay, it is represented by V. Okay, and next one is missing and appearing wavelengths. Missing and appearing wavelengths. Okay, and last one is introduction or introducing of glass slabs or thin sheets. Glass slabs or thin sheets. Okay, Nana. So these are the four topics we are going to discuss in today's class. Some more facts about fringes and fringe visibility, missing and appearing wavelengths, introducing of glass slabs or thin sheets. So till yesterday's class, whatever we discussed, it is a slightly board part. That means less chances of obtaining questions in the competitive exams. Okay, so here these are the some main topics where there is a possibility of appearing question in your exam. Okay, so these four topics are very important here. Okay, so if you understand the previous topic, these are very easy, and these all are the application oriented types of questions. Okay, so guys, here first one is some more facts of fringes. Okay, before we starting the some more facts of fringes, and first of all, first point in the some more facts of the physics, first point is, okay, difference of nth bright fringe and mth dark fringe. Okay, difference of nth bright fringe and nth dark fringe. Okay, this is the topic we are going to. First of all, what is this nth? I mean, we already know that the experiment is, okay, this is our YDSC. Okay, so these are source S1 and these are sources S2, and this is our screen, and here it is forming the central maxima, and I'm considering this point as O. Now a light from this wave, and here both are meeting a point here, and this will called as yn. Okay, I'm considering this as how much, Nana? Okay, yeah, fine. So this is what, Nana? Yn. Yn is nothing but nth bright fringe. Similarly, another wave from here and another wave from here, they are meeting destructively, and its value is equal to ym. Yn is the distance from the central maxima. I mean, distance of bright fringe from central maxima, and ym is the distance of the uh, mth order dark fringe from the central maxima. So here the question is difference of nth bright fringe from mth dark fringe. So from we already know that y nth. So y nth is equal to what we can write, Nana? N lambda d by d. N lambda d by d. Similarly, ym, I mean it is nth order dark fringe. So how to obtain nth order dark fringe, Nana? It is 2m minus 1 lambda d by 2d. Clear, Nana? Or simply we can write this as n beta, or we can write this as 2m minus 1 by 2 beta. Okay, so 2m minus 1 by 2 beta. So we can write here what we can able to write, Nana? Yn. So this is, I am writing it as bright, minus ym dark is equal to n lambda d by d minus 2m minus 1 2d lambda d. Or in simple words we can write this as n beta minus 2m minus 1 by 2 beta. Or if you take beta common here, beta is equal to 2n minus 2m plus 1 by 2. So this is the formula for yn minus ym. So clear, Nana? Hope you all understood. So here the formula is very simple. The difference of nth bright fringe and nth dark fringe. Yn is equal to n lambda d by d, which is also called written as what, Nana? N beta, and ym is equal to 2m minus 1 lambda d by 2d. So which can also be written as 2m minus 1 by 2 into beta. So ynb minus ymd. Ynb is nothing but nth order maxima. So ymd is nothing but nth order minima. So n lambda d by d minus 2m minus 1 2d lambda d. So upon all simplification we are having yn minus ym is equal to beta into 2n minus 2m plus 1 by 2 into beta. So this is the formula for obtaining the difference of nth bright fringe and nth dark fringe. Okay, Nana, hope you all understood this topic. Okay, now without wasting the time we will go to the next furthermore topic. Now second more point, Nana. Some more facts about fringes. In that second more one more point. At constant temperature, with increase of pressure, refractive index of the medium increases. Hence, fringe width will be decreases. Okay. See, at constant temperature. So this is also one of the important point. Okay. At constant temperature. At constant temperature. Okay. So if pressure increases, refractive index of the medium also increases. If pressure increases, refractive medium also increases. So what will happen, Nana? Beta will decreases. If pressure increases, so what it is happening? The refractive index also increases. If refractive index increases, fringe width decreases, because beta dash is equal to beta by mu, inversely proportional. Okay. Or in simple words, lambda is inversely proportional to the refractive index. Okay. So based on this, so when 100% there might be this type of questions appear in your coming exam, Nana. Pressure increases means refractive index increases. If refractive index increases, here fringe width will decreases. That is the main important point. Okay. Now one more important point, Nana. Here you can see two sources are there. two sources are there. When one of the source is closed, two sources are there. So what we can write, Nana? One of the source of YDSC is closed. One of the source of the YDSC is closed. So what will be appear, Nana? Therefore, instead of interference, diffraction is observed. Diffraction is observed. Okay, so when in this experiment, if one of the slit is closed, then we are going to observe diffraction instead of interference. Okay, that is also one more point you need to understand. Okay, the next point is fine. So next point is angular magnification. I mean, we are having the angular magnification. Similarly, we are having angular fringe width. Okay, so angular magnification is nothing but theta by theta naught. Similarly here, delta theta, angular fringe width, delta theta is equal to delta y by d, or which is also called as beta by d, beta by d. So which is also called as what, Nana? Lambda by d. Okay, so what is this measure? See, if you clearly observe that it is making an angle theta. So this is S1 and this is S2, and here the distance, it is making an angle theta here. Is it right? So that theta is called as what, Nana? That theta is called as angular fringe width. And what is the formula for here, Nana? Delta theta is equal to change in y. Change in y means here the distance. Change in y by capital D, or simply y by d, which can also be written as what, Nana? Beta by d or lambda by d. So this is the formula for what, Nana? Angular fringe width. Okay, so this is one more point related to your some more facts about fringes. And so for a point source, I mean, is the whatever the point source, we are getting the fringe width equally, Nana? No. So fringe width, the fringes pattern will be different for different sources of light. Fringe pattern will be different for different sources of light. So if you use point source of light, if you use, okay, so the interference pattern will be hyperbolic. When we use point source of light, pattern is what, Nana? Hyperbolic. Okay, and when you use cylindrical or plane sources, okay, so the fringes are straight. Pattern is what, Nana? Pattern is straight. Okay, so when we use point sources, I mean, point sources means pinholes like this. And whenever cylindrical and plane sources means what, Nana? Like this, slits. So this is what a cylindrical wavefront, cylindrical source of light. But this is what plane sources. I mean, for better understanding, I am drawing here. This is a plane source. Pin sources. very small, very small. That is called as pin sources or point sources. Okay, so pin-sized holes. Pin-sized hole is a point source of light, and narrow slits are the cylindrical or plane sources of light. Okay, Nana. So hope you understood this. Okay, this is also one more fact about the fringes. Okay, now coming to the next point. So I already said now, the pattern will be, if you use a pin sources, it will be hyperbolic. So how will be the hyperbolic? So this is our central fringe, okay, and so slightly it will becomes hyperbolic like this. Central fringe will be straight, whereas the remaining will become hyperbolic. For cylindrical or plane sources, straight lines, straight paths will be obtained like this. This is the path. This is the difference between hyperbolic and straight edges. Okay, so these are also some facts about the fringes, Nana. Okay, now coming to the next point. If you see, if this is what, Nana, sorry, this is what, guys, whatever the, I mean, these are parallel here, okay, or simply the sources are perpendicular to the screen. If the sources are horizontal to the screen, what is going to happen? I mean, S1, here it is S2, screen is in this way. So here, whatever the sources are there, sources are perpendicular to the screen, but here the sources are sources are horizontal to the screen. Here sources are perpendicular to the screen, here the sources are horizontal to the screen. At that time the interference pattern will be obtained like this. But here we get the path difference as d sine theta, but here we are getting theta, so adjacent side. Here delta x is equal to d sine theta, sorry, d cos theta. It is what? D cos theta. Here delta x, I mean, whenever sources and screen are facing each other, delta x is equal to d sine theta. The path difference we get is how much? Now d sine theta. And as theta increases, delta x increases. Okay, but whenever we discussing that sources are horizontal to the screen, so delta x is equal to d cos theta. You can see this is what. So this is the adjacent side na, d cos theta. And if theta increases, delta x decreases. This is the most interesting, most important point. What is that, Nana? Once again, I am writing here delta x is equal to d cos theta for a horizontal sources. Delta x is equal to d cos theta, and if theta increases, okay, since delta x is directly proportional to cos theta, if theta increases, delta x decreases. But in actual condition here, delta x is equal to d sine theta. Okay, theta increases, delta x is also increases. But for a horizontal situation, it will be reversed. Delta x is equal to d cos theta. If theta increases, delta x will decreases. So this is also most important point related to your topic. Okay, so this is all about your some more facts, Nana. I hope you all understood all these topics. So with this, we have ended up some more facts about the fringes. Okay, so now coming to the next, guys, we are going to discuss fringe visibility. What is this fringe visibility? Okay, so this fringeability is a concept how much brightly the fringe will appears. How much brightly the fringe will appears is known as fringe visibility, or simply it is a ratio of fringe visibility. Here our concept is what, Nana? Fringe visibility. or band visibility, fringe visibility or band visibility. Okay, so guys, here it is also, it is denoted by capital V. Okay, V is equal to, V is equal to separation of maximum intensity minus minimum intensity by, or difference of Imax and Imin by sum of Imax and Imin. Okay, so fringibility is what, Nana? Ratio of difference of Imax and Imin to the sum of Imax and Imin. This is called as what, Nana? Fringe visibility. Okay, so it is a measure of contrast between the bright and dark fringes. To how much extent the fringe is appearing bright and dark. Okay, so when comparing to the dark fringe, the bright fringe, how perfectly it is appearing, that is called as fringe visibility. Okay, so guys, we already know that Imax is equal to, what is the formula, Nana? I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1 I2. Okay, and I minimum is equal to I1 plus I2 minus 2 root I1 I2. So you can get V is equal to, V is equal to, so when you add up, when you add both these things, you will get 4 root I1 I2 by, you are having what, Nana? 2 I1 plus I2, that is 2 root I1 I2 by I1 plus I2. When in a question, when this Imax and Imin given, we need to use this formula. When individual intensity is given, I mean the waves intensity I1 and I2 given, we need to choose this formula. So depending upon the question, we need to identify the formula. Okay, so if Imax and Imin given, I mean for example, the question will be, okay, the maximum and minimum intensities of a of two fringes were given as 9i and 4i, 9i and 4i. So what we can able to write directly, V is equal to, yeah, I'm going to show here, yeah, V is equal to here 9i minus 4i by, so next one we are having is what, 9i plus 14 4i, that is how much, Nana? 5 by 13i, 5 by 13. So the visibility is how much? 5 by 13. Clear? So that is how we need to, but if the intensities of individual waves I1 and I2 are given, so instead of Imax and Imin, then you need to directly use this formula. Okay, so what are the units of this fringibility then? The units of fringibility are no units. No units. Since it is a ratio, it does not have any units. Okay, and its value always lies there between 0 V less than 1. 0 V less than 1. If I minimum is equal to 0, then V is equal to 1. If I minimum is equal to 0, then V is equal to 1. Otherwise, its value lies between 0 less than V less than 1. Okay, guys, hope you all understand. Okay, so direct questions will be appear based on this formula. What is the fringe visibility? What is the fringe visibility for Imax, for two waves of having Imax and I minimum? They will give directly. Okay, so or one more condition question. In order to have the fringe visibility of 1, what is the condition? I minimum should be equal to 0. Like these questions will appear in the examination. Hope you all understood this question, Nana. Okay, yeah, now we will go to the for the next topic. Okay, so I hope your fringe visibility is understood by all. Okay, yeah, okay, Nana. Now two more important points. Okay, when one slit, when one slit is partially opened and other one is when one is partially opened and other one is completely open, so what will happen, Anna? What will happen? This might be the positive. I mean, these type of questions may appear in the question or not. So they may ask you simply directly. One of the slit is partially open and one of the slit is completely open. What will be the effect on the fringes? Okay. So here, when in this situation, what will happen, guys? The contrast between fringes decreases. Contrast between the fringes will decreases. Means they won't appear properly. The contrast between the fringes decreases. That is, V will decreases. If one is open completely and one is open partially, then visibility will decrease. Okay. So they may ask one more point of question also. When the visibility will decreases, one is open completely and when one is not open completely. So this is one case. And one more point, Nana. If slits width are in unequal, slits width are unequal, then minima will not be completely black, sorry, will not be completely dark. Okay. So whenever slits are there, the slits, we already know that slits means separation. I mean, here this is called as, so like this situation. Yeah. So if you clearly observe that here the distance between, I mean here when compared to this width is very more. I mean here unequal widths are there. Whenever unequal slit widths are there, so minima will not be completely dark because more light is allowed through this one. So from here less light will be allowed, and from this higher slit more light will be allowed. So what will happen, Nana? It will give rise to minima. I mean simply minima will not be completely dark in this case. Okay. So this is all important points, and this is all regarding the visibility and some more topics on the visibility. Okay. So till now we discussed about what, Nana? What, guys? We discussed about the some more facts about the fringes and the fringe visibility. These are the two topics we discussed till now, and we are entering into the new topic called missing and appearing wavelengths. What is this missing and appearing wavelengths? So for example, if you consider, I mean whatever the monochromatic light is there, we replace it with some white light. So we already know that white light is a combination of all the 7 colors. White light is the combination of all 7 colors. So here at the central maxima, the path difference is very small. So not small, it is 0. Path difference will be completely 0. That means higher wavelengths may not reach the completely central maxima. Okay, so what are the different wavelengths missing in that particular fringe? That are called as missing wavelengths and appearing wavelengths. Instead of monochromatic light, if white light is used, then different expression, I mean in one fringe one color, will appear. Like that appearance is called as what, Nana? Missing and appearing wavefronts. Okay, so what is this missing? First of all, missing First of all, we will discuss missing wavelengths. Then we will go ahead with the appearing wavelengths. Missing wavelengths. Missing wavelengths. Okay, what is this missing wavelengths? Whenever two waves interfere destructively, it will create a dark band. If two waves are not appearing, if a wave is not appearing in the interference, means it is undergone destructive interference. The phase difference it experienced is what, Nana? The path difference it experiences what, Nana? Destructive interference. Now we will discuss the condition and we will formulate the missing wavelengths. Okay, so guys, this is S1 and this is S2 here. Okay, this is central maximum as usual. Now I'm considering a one wave, it is straight away like this, and another one meeting at this point. Okay, now these two waves reached the point P destructively, S1 and S2. S1P is one wave, S2P is another wave. Both reached the point P destructively. Here the distance is capital D. Okay, so guys, and here the separation is small d. So we already know these points. From this, what we can write, Nana? Delta X is equal to S2P minus S1P. S2P minus S1P. Okay, so here S2P means what? Here you can observe this is a right angle. It is like a right angle triangle. Here it is D, here it is capital D. So it will be D square plus D square. So what we can able to write, guys, here D square plus D square minus D. So it is the direct distance. Now if you clearly observe, what we can able to write, guys, D square plus, now I can write this as, I am taking D as common outside, 1 plus D by D whole square 1 by 2. We already know that one formula, 1 plus X whole power N. If X is equal to less than 1, we can write it as 1 plus NX. So similarly, based on the situation, we can write this formula as D into 1 plus 1 by 2 D by D minus D. Sorry, this is D square, na? I'm sorry, this is D square. Okay, fine. This is also D square. So what we are getting, guys? So we are getting here. Now D plus, so what we are getting here, D plus, okay, D into D square by 2D square minus D. So D will get cancelled. Ultimately what our formula is, delta X is equal to D square by 2D. Delta X is equal to D square by 2D. So this delta X is equal to D square by 2D. This is the path difference traveled by the second wave. This is the path distance traveled by the second wave. What it is? D square by 2D. Now after getting D square by 2D, after getting the D square by 2D, so I'm just erasing that. I will continue in the next. Okay. If particular wavelength is missing, means it undergoes which one, Anna? Destructive interference. So what we can able to write here, this D square by 2D, D square by 2D is equal to 2n minus 1 by 2 lambda. 2n minus 1 by 2. Okay, so 2n minus 1 by 2 lambda. Okay, so from here these two and these two will get cancelled, and what we left is lambda is equal to d square by 2n minus 1 d. Okay guys, d square by 2n minus 1 into d. So these are the missing wavelengths. So if you keep n is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 so on, we are getting lambda is equal to d square by d comma d square by 2d, sorry, 3d comma d square by 5d so on. So these all are the waves miss in the miss in the miss in the fringes. Okay, these wavelengths will miss in the fringes. Okay, now what are the appearing wavelengths? Appearing wavelengths is equal to appearing wavelengths. So whatever the this d square by, I mean d square by, the path difference should be equal to what? Path difference should be equal to constructive. I mean the both waves undergo constructive interference. It will gives rise to what guys? It will gives rise to appearing wavelengths. Okay, so from this what we can write? Lambda is equal to d square by 2dn. Lambda is equal to d square by 2dn. For n is equal to, I mean for n is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 so on, we are having guys lambda is equal to d square by 2d comma d square by 4d comma d square by 6d. So here from this topic we can, the missing wavelengths are d square by d square by 3d, d square by 5d, and appearing wavelengths are d square by 2d, d square by 4d, d square by 6d. Okay, sometimes they may ask what is the separation between the two missing wavelengths? I mean what is the wavelength of separation between the two missing wavelengths? D square by 3d minus d square by d. By just solving that you will get the answer. So these all are the topics related to the missing and appearing wavelengths. Hope you all understood. So when this will be come into the account? When the interference is conducted for incoherent sources of light. When light is, I mean when the experiment is conducted for incoherent sources of light, some waves may miss in some fringes, some waves may appear in some fringes. That missing wavelengths and appearing wavelengths are obtained using the formulae lambda is equal to d square by 2n minus 1 into d, and lambda is equal to d square by 2dn. Okay, so with this we can complete the one more topic, that is sum of facts. I mean sum of facts already completed, fringe visibility completed, and missing and appearing wavelengths is completed. And the last topic for today's class is introducing of glass slab and thin sheets. Introducing of glass slabs or thin sheets. Okay guys, when you introduce a glass slab or thin sheet in between the interfering waves, the interference pattern will be shifted. Sir, why it will undergo shifting, sir? So this is I mean you can observe that when a glass slab is placed in the light path, it undergoes certain deviation or not. Of course we have solved so many problems as well as we have conducted experiment, is it right? When a glass slab is introduced in the between the path of the light ray, it undergoes some deviation. Of course it is parallel to the previous one, and that shifting we will call it as what, Nana? Normal shift. I mean with respect to the object it is called as normal shift, with respect to the light it is called as lateral shift. Okay, so here lateral shift of the fringes. Okay, so the fringe patterns are shifting from the, I mean how it will get shifted, that we will discuss right now. Okay guys, so here if you conduct, I'm just conducting one simple point here. So here this is our experimental setup as usual, S1 and S2, and this is the distance capital D. Okay, now S1 and S2P both are interfering at point O. Okay, and here we are getting what? Central maxima. Now when I keep one glass slab like this or one thin film sheet like this, so what will happen, Anna, when you keep a glass slab like this? So actually the light should have, I mean light has to move like this. Okay, but due to glass slab it undergoes refraction like this, then it will undergo like this. So similarly, due to the introduction of glass slab, it changes the path like this. So if you clearly observe that the fringes were shifted from point O to O dash. This is initial point, this is the final point. Due to the, see, this is the O point without glass slab, and this is O dash with the glass slab. This shift in the position of central maxima is called as lateral shift of fringes. Lateral shift of fringes. Okay, so many questions, most of the questions, I mean more probability of obtaining questions from this lateral shift of fringes, I mean from this topic. Okay, now how to obtain this concept? Okay, what is the formula? I mean what is the thickness? I mean what questions will be there, sir? What is the thickness of this sheet? One question. What is the refractive index of this sheet? Another question. Like those topics we will discuss right now. Okay, I hope you all understood this experiment. So in order to save the space, I'm just erasing this, Nana. Okay, now lateral shift of the spaces. Okay, so first of all, for obtaining central maxima, for central maxima, we already know that delta S1P or simply delta X1 is equal to delta X2 is equal to delta S2P. That is, path difference by the wave 1 and path difference by the wave 2 are same. But due to introducing of glass slab, due to introduce of glass slab, we can write this as, okay, so delta SP1 due to the change I am subtracting. So delta S1P minus thickness of the glass slab plus optical path of the light. See, from the path difference I am subtracting what, Nana? Thickness of the glass slab. So I am subtracting the thickness of the glass slab and I am adding the optical path. Optical path formula is what? Mu into T, thickness of the glass slab. Okay, so it is also equal to what? Delta S2P, that is previously. We already know that delta S, I mean from this, if I shift this S1P from here to that side, I mean from left side to right side, I can write this as delta S2P minus delta S1P is equal to, we can write this as mu minus 1 into T. Mu minus 1 into T. This is the path difference by the glass slab. But we already know that delta S2P minus delta S1P is equal to what it is, Nana? dy by d. So this is my first equation, this is my second equation. From 1 and 2, what I can able to write? From this 1 and 2, what I can able to write here? Mu minus 1 into T is equal to dy by d. Okay, I'm sorry, here we are, I mean it won't be up here, na? So I'm writing here. So I'm going to write here. So what we can write? Mu minus 1 into T is equal to dy by d. Okay, dy by d. So from this I can write here thickness of the glass slab. Thickness of the glass slab is equal to dy by nu minus 1 into capital D. Got it, guys? So thickness of the glass slab, will be obtained T is equal to dy by mu minus 1, into capital D. Okay, so from here we can also write what we can able to write, Nana, y, the lateral shift. So this value is equal to, so d by d, okay, nu minus 1 into t. This d by d can also be written as, beta by lambda, that is nu minus 1 into t. So d by d can also be written as what, Nana? Beta by lambda. So what is beta then? Why the beta will be there? Beta is equal to lambda d by d. So from here I can write d by d is equal to beta by lambda. So we can write theta is equal to beta by lambda into nu minus 1 into t. Okay, so hope you all guys understood this concept. So here the formulae are y is equal to d by d into nu minus 1 into t, which is also equal to beta by lambda into nu minus 1 into t. So here why we choose this relation? Because beta is equal to lambda d by d. So this is the lateral shift of the fringes for the central maxima due to the introduction of the thin sheet or glass slab. Okay, so we can find, I mean, D will be known, capital D will be known, Y will be known, and thickness will be known. So can't we find the refractive index? If they're given in terms of fringe width, beta known, lambda we known, and I mean lambda they will give. I mean, what terms were given? Based on that, we need to find out the question. That's it. It is a simple concept of application of formulae. Okay, guys. So you have understood how the thickness of the glass slab and the lateral shift of will be finded using the different formulas. Okay. So the formula for the thickness can be written as T is equal to YD by mu minus 1 into capital D. This is the one formula. Okay. Or we can also write this as Y lambda by mu minus 1 into beta. This is the formula for the thickness. Okay, this is the formula for the thickness of the glass slab. Or lateral shift will be y is equal to, we can write it as d by d nu minus 1 into t, or we can also write this as beta by lambda into nu minus 1 by into t. So these many formulas, if you say, means how we will keep it in mind, sir? You may have the question. Who said you to keep it in mind? I said to you to practice. Practice concept orientedly. When you practice concept orientedly, you can able to solve any number of questions. See, you can't get success without hard work. You're not kids, na? You're not kids. If you are kids, just go and join with the nursery students and learn ABCDs. So of course we are in the intermediate, and that is a turning point of stage. You should have to do little hard work. Okay, so you should construct a chain based. I mean, by knowing one formula, you need to create n formula. That is what we have to do. Okay, guys. So the only thing here is learning the concept, how we are building, how we are making step by step. So based on that, you can get. Now, number of fringes shifted. For example, so we already discussed that experiment. In that experiment, due to the introduction of glass slab, some fringes were shifted from the point O to O dash. How many such fringes were shifted? means I can write this n is equal to y by beta. What is the y value, Nana? Y value is equal to, we can write it as y value, we can write it as what here, d by d nu minus 1 into t, but beta value is equal to, beta is equal to lambda d by d. So what we can able to write, lambda d by d. So d will get cancelled, and ultimately what's the formula we left is nu minus 1 into t by lambda, nu minus 1 into t by lambda. Okay, so here we can write here, from this point we can write nu minus 1 into t is equal to n lambda. This is another shortcut. Nu minus 1 into t is equal to n lambda. So this is another shortcut. One of the most repeated question in the previous topics is, when two different transparent sheets of thickness T1 and T2, two different transparent sheets T1 and T2, okay, refractive indexes mu1 and mu2 are placed in the paths of two interfering waves in YDSC, and central bright fringe is not shifted. So central bright fringe is not shifted, that is what, so that their optical paths before and after are same. The optical paths before and after are same. Then we can write the condition. What is the condition to obtain the path? Nu1 minus 1 into T1 is equal to nu2 minus 1 into T2. This is the condition for obtaining the non-shifting of central fringe. What is the condition? What is the condition? What is the condition for non-shifting of the central fringe when two glass slabs introduced separately with different thicknesses T1, T2 and mu1, mu2. So this is the formula. mu1 minus 1 into T1 is equal to mu2 minus 1 into T2. Okay, so with this we have completed all the 4 topics of today's class. What are those 4 topics, Nana? Some more facts about fringes and fringe visibility, next missing and appearing wavelengths, and introducing a glass slabs. Okay, so in some more facts of fringes, we discussed about the subtraction of nth bright fringe minus mth dark fringe. I mean, what is the distances between yn and ym. Okay, then next with respect to the pressure, what will happen, and angular fringe width. Next, what is the shape of the, what are the shapes of the point sources, and when point sources is used, when cylindrical sources is used, that all topics we discussed. In fringe visibility, what is the formula, how to obtain fringe visibility when Imax and I minimum is given and I1 and I2 is given, what is the formula, and what are the different facts with respect to the visibility, those we discussed, and what is missing and appearing wavelengths. Okay, and the formula for obtaining missing and appearing wavelengths we discussed. And last one is introducing of glass slab. When a glass slab is introduced between the interfering waves, the fringe will shift. I mean, the fringe will shift it from its actual point of superpose. That shifting is called as lateral shift. Okay, and we discussed the formula for the lateral shift. We discussed the formula for the thickness of the glass slab, and we can able to find the refractive index. Okay, and we have obtained the relation also. So these all are the topics we discussed. I hope you all understood. And problems, Rana, problems are very, 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 very simple only. So only you need to understand what terms they were given in the exam, in the question, and by applying which formula you will get the answer. Only those. Okay. So hope you all understood the class. Okay, guys, we will solve two problems which are important model and wind up the class. Okay, guys, you can see these questions. Okay, hope. Okay, guys, fine. It may not more. Fine. Anyway, a thin mic sheet of thickness 2 into 10 power minus 6 and refractive index 1.5 is introduced in the path of the first wavelength. The wavelength of the wave used is 5000 angstrom. The central bright fringe will shift. Okay, so we already discussed this type of formula. Okay, a thin mic sheet of thickness. So they given, I mean, so here this YDS experiment is there. Okay, so this is your S1 and this is your S2. Okay, and here this is the screen. Okay, now central bright fringe, both are interfering to the central bright fringe. Between a thin mic sheet is placed like this. Now due to this thin mic sheet, the fringe has shifted some distance. What is this shiftance? We need to find out. Okay, so first of all, what is the given data given? We will observe. Based on the given data, we need to go for the formula. Okay, first of all, thickness of the sheet is given. T is equal to given as 2 into 10 power minus 6 meters. T is given as how much? 2 T into, okay, and mu is equal to 1.5. Mu is equal to how much, guys? 1.5. Introduced in the path of the first wave. The wavelength lambda is equal to given as lambda is equal to 5000 angstroms. Okay, so the central bright maximum will shift. So what is the fifth, guys? You need to observe that what they has given in the question. Based on that only we need to discuss. Okay, so here just observe the formula clearly. Okay, guys. So if you clearly observe that, what are the different formulas we are having? Lateral shift y is equal to d by d mu minus 1 into t, or beta by lambda mu minus 1 into t. Okay, this is a formula we need to apply. But if you clearly observe that this d by d values, they are not given, and beta value is also not given. But observe the options. When you go through the options, you can see clearly. Okay, so you can observe clearly. What you can observe clearly, d by d values they're not given, beta by lambda the values they're not given. So how to obtain? But if you clearly observe that in the options, you can able to see they were given in terms of fringes. So the answer is in terms of beta. So just apply the formula. Y is equal to beta by lambda mu minus 1 into t. That is, what is the formula, guys? Here beta by 5000 into 10 power minus 10 and mu minus 1. So mu minus 1, it is how much? 0.5, okay, into, and thickness value is 2 into 10 power minus 6, or simply this 0.5 write it as 1 by 2. 1 by 2 means it will get cancelled. Okay, so here we are having 5000, so here 10 power minus 6 is there, so this will be how much? 10 power minus 4. Okay, so we are having beta by 5 into 10 power, I mean 5 into 10, 10 power 3 into 10 power minus 4. So this will get cancelled, and ultimately we will get the answer as 2 beta. Okay, so the central bright fringe here, if you clearly observe that 2 fringes upward, 2 fringes downward, 10 fringes upward is there. So what is your answer, Nana? 2 fringes upwards, because due to the intro of path, it will shifted to the upwards. You can see the experiment. This is our experiment. Okay, S1. So this is S1 and this is S2, and this is a central fringe. Okay, like this they are going to meet. Due to introducing of glass slab, it changes its path like this. So it will shift towards S1. So the fringes will shift towards up. So answer is what, guys? 2 fringes upward. A option is your answer. Okay, so this is what our first question. And coming to the next question. Just a moment. Okay, guys. So read the question, guys. In a YDSC observed by using a light of wavelength 4800 angstroms, is a glass plate is introduced in the path of one of the wave, and another plate is introduced in the path of mu is equal to 1.8 other wave. The central fringe takes position of the fifth bright fringe. The thickness of the plate is, see, two thicknesses, I mean two thicknesses are same. Okay, so due to these two thicknesses, the path is introduced, I mean the position of the central maxima is shifted by 5 fringes. I mean it is coincided with the fifth bright fringe. Okay, so what is the thickness of the plate they are asking. Okay, so first of all I'm writing. Okay, so shifted due to the, what is the formula, guys? So first of all they have given lambda. What is the lambda they given? Lambda is equal to 4800 angstroms. 4800 angstroms. So nu1 is equal to given as how much? 1.5. nu2 given as how much? 1.8. nu1 is equal to 1.5, nu2 is equal to 1.8. So here shift, I mean total shift is equal to 5 times of beta. Okay, for example, so experiment I'm showing here, S1, S2. Okay, so it has shifted like this. Here this is mu1, here mu2. Okay, so this is which one? Fifth bright fringe. Okay, the central fringe takes the position of fifth bright fringe. So the thickness of the path is. So first of all, I'm considering, I mean delta x1, and delta x1 is path shift. Delta x1 is equal to what we can able to write, beta by lambda into mu minus 1 into t. Mu1 minus. Okay, so what is the formula, guys? Beta by lambda, it is 4th. Okay, I'm writing the same only, lambda. Okay, and here so mu1 minus 1 into, okay, no need of writing it once again, no need of changing, and we are supposed to first formulate the fact. Similarly, delta x2 is equal to beta by lambda mu2 minus 1 into t, since the thicknesses are same. And we already know the formula. What is the formula, Nana? In order to find that they may interfere constructively, so we are applying the formula, or simply delta x2 minus delta x1 is given as phi beta. Shift is given as how much? Phi beta. So I can write this as phi beta is equal to beta by lambda into nu2 minus nu1 into thickness. So beta will cancel, and nu2 minus nu1 into t is equal to phi lambda, that is t is equal to phi into lambda value is 4800 into 10 power minus 10 by, and here mu2 value is how much, guys? Mu2 value is equal to 1.8. 1.8 minus 1.5, it is 0.3. Okay, or we can write this as 3 into 10 power minus 1. Okay, now this is how many times, guys? 16 times. Keep it aside. 10 power, this is 10 power minus 9. Okay, so here 5 into 16 we can write it as 80. So thickness T is equal to, okay, so what is the formula, Nana? Here 80 and double zeros. 80 double zeros, 8000. 8 into 10 power 3 into 10 power minus 9. So your answer is, thickness of the glass slab is 8 into 10 power minus 6, or 8 micrometers. 8 micron or 8 micrometers. So which is your answer, guys? A option. Luckily both the options are A only. Very good. This is how we need to solve the problems. Hope you all understood the class. Please go through the various examples in the material which I provided. You can able to solve those very easily. Once again, I will post the material in the tomorrow in the WhatsApp group. Please practice once. Open the material and go through that, so you can able to understand the class very easily. Okay, hope you all understood the class. Have a nice day. Take care. Enjoy. All the best. Stay home, stay safe.